Let's talk about the pull and flick rear cross. This is a style or a path of rear cross that some people develop where they actually pull their dog slightly this way before executing the rear cross this way. So it's almost a variation of the L-shaped rear cross, a little bit more exaggerated, but it creates huge problems in your handling, not in the rear cross, but in other places of the course. A lot of people develop this kind of rear cross because at one time they attempted to do a nice diagonal rear cross here, and their dog, instead of feeling that pressure, moving to the wing here, taking this jump and doing a nice rear cross with the handler cutting behind. Instead, the dog, as they felt that pressure, pushed off this jump entirely. And so then the handler, a lot of times what they do to combat that is that they pull their dog this way till they're sure they're going to take this jump, and then they go ahead and cut behind. Now the problem does not occur on the rear cross, other than the problems we've already pointed out with the L-shaped rear of not being in very good position to handle the rest of the course. The problem occurs on a regular turn when you want the dog to take these two jumps and turn and take this jump, because you have made the beginning part of your rear cross look exactly like a simple turn, which is what you would do if you wanted your dog to take this. So what starts to happen over time is that dogs learn that this path that I've drawn right here predicts a rear cross rather than predicting a simple turn. And the symptom that you will see of this, and you can watch shows and probably you'll see this now that we've pointed it out, is that there will be times when a handler will be doing what seems like a very simple pull turn. The handler is just, running like this, and the dog just comes and turns the opposite direction. And everybody looks at that and says there's no reason for the dog to have gone the other way. And it's just a reinforcement history of this predicts this. And it happens because of that pull and flick rear. So the pull and flick rear really needs to be avoided at all costs to be able to maintain what should be a very simple maneuver, the pull turn. Another problem that you'll see with pull and flick rears is that because the dogs learn that this pull is going to predict the rear cross, many times these dogs will still end up pushing off of this jump, meaning they'll go this way, their handler is pulling in the opposite direction, and as soon as the handler starts to straighten up to start the rear, they've already predicted it and they still pull off. So what happens is this handler ends up pulling harder or longer. So they get way up here before they cut. And it becomes a cycle that the handler has a hard time breaking out of. So the solution is really just to be very conscious of your path on your rear cross and to very carefully train and maintain this nice diagonal path. This is my attempt to demonstrate a pull and flick rear cross. So you can see here that I have slightly turned my shoulders in this direction and even have a little bit of a lean this direction to ensure that my dog is going to take this jump. And so what I essentially did was convince my dog. You can see her already starting to turn this way. I convinced my dog that what we were going to do was go this way. And then I basically changed my mind on her and did the rear. So she has to land heading this way and then react to my rear cross to come this way. So with pull and flick rear crosses, there's a couple of different things you'll see. One is this turn the wrong way, and that can be, she adjusts really well and is able to turn after she lands. Some dogs will do a complete spin, so they'll take this jump, they'll head this way, they'll spin and come this direction. Or you may simply get the dog landing this way and turning, which is what Rook did. Or, as I said before, the other problem you'll see is that the dog becomes wise to this trick of I'm going to pull before I rear, and they start to turn before you've done the turn back towards them, and so the handler ends up turning more and more and more before they turn back. So these are all problems that occur with the pull and flick rear. But the largest problem of all is the fact that regardless of how you get your rear cross done, when you do a pull and flick rear, you will absolutely destroy this simple turn.